No, it's been here all along. This isn't a renaissance. You just woke up and noticed because your group is doing it. However, there's great stuff being done by Salon and WNYC, and all these new networks that are coming out of WNYC, coming out of public broadcasting. It's a different style. They do great stuff. It wins a new audience. It wins that public broadcasting audience. I think it's, they're going to have a challenge because the broadcast side of public broadcasting is very powerful, the stations. And they recently, for instance, NPR stopped promoting its podcasts because they realized it was offensive to the local stations.
Famous letter.
Yeah.
NPR's chief.
And so they're going to struggle with that a little bit. That's the interesting thing about podcasting. Incumbents who have a traditional broadcast business, are certainly part of it, but they can never be fully engaged because they don't want to cannibalize their existing business. And I really like the independent side of podcasting because there's no risk. We're not worried about cannibalizing existing business. This is the business. We are 100% in this business. So I kind of, I'm sure other podcasters look at me and say, oh yeah, Leo has a natural advantage because he came from broadcasting, so he had an existing audience. He still does a radio show which generates audience for his podcast, and that's all true. So I am also taking advantage of that. But I feel like if you already have a radio station or a network of radio stations, and you're doing podcasts, you're not fully in the podcast milieu. You're dabbling in it, and of course it irks me that they're so darn successful at it. No, but it's good. The real threats to podcasting don't come from them at all. They've been a huge help to the community. The real threat to podcasting comes from groups like Podcast One that are selling podcast ads that are throwaway, disposable ads, and they're charging rates that are radio rates, much lower costs. And what they do is they pollute the water because people who try podcasts often try them first because they're cheap. And they have terrible results, and then they conclude, oh yeah, podcasting, nobody's going to, that's... So we really have kind of a higher, we look for a higher end experience. We don't even consider what we do sales. Sales implies you're trying to talk somebody into buying an ad. We're trying to talk people out of buying ads. We turn down people all the time. We are not trying to get people to buy ads on our network. We're looking for companies to form relationships with us so that we can introduce those companies to our audience. And it's a very different kind of relationship. And it's sometimes challenging both for us and for the advertisers because, well, a lot of people get insulted when we say, no, we're not going to take your ad. What's wrong with us? Our money's as good as anybody else's. Yeah, but it's not about your money, it's about your product, and I'm not comfortable promoting your product to our audience. That's a very uncomfortable conversation. We have that conversation almost daily. I think the challenge for podcasters, the temptation for anybody is to follow the money, to chase the money. And I think that my really strong message to podcasters is not to chase the money, but to maintain quality, to retain the integrity of your show and your relationship with your audience, and to think of an advertiser as a peer with your audience and as a company that you're introducing to your audience. And they need to be, just as when you make an introduction, hey, I'd like you to meet my friend. You're saying something. You're saying, this is a quality person and you should know this person. Think of it the same way with advertising. It's about introducing your community, and your community comes first, totally ahead of any other interest. Has to be your community. And I said that at the staff meeting yesterday too. Is that our only concern is, are we serving the community? I was talking about how we craft our little blurbs and marketing messages and stuff. And I said there's a temptation to say, let's write the thing that will generate the largest audience? Link bait. And I said, please don't. Your number one job is to think of your community and the audience and to serve them. And link bait doesn't serve people because it tricks people. We are not here to trick people. We're here to inform them. And the tease that you write, the tease that you write is not a tease to trick them to listen. It's an informative blurb to tell them what you're going to hear in the show. Here's what's coming up in this show. Here's what this show's going to be like. And if you do that right, it will be a valuable, informative piece of copy as opposed to something that tricks people. And so, in every respect, when it comes to advertising, marketing, the audience is first. The community, it's a community, and the community is first. And it's hard sometimes. Sometimes you get caught up in, I gotta make payroll, I gotta, pay for this. And I know there's a lot of pressure when you have a business.